Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Iron Torch 20, and we welcome you to the next Let's Play in my channel, and that's going to be Little Samson for the NES. And this is a very special game. It came out in, I think, 1992, and was another late NES gem by Taito. And the story about this is that you kind of have multiple intros, which is something I learned not too long ago, actually. So it turns out what's going on here is I guess some wizard or somebody took over. And what we gotta do is we gotta save the kingdom from said wizard. And then you also get like different intros because I think they had that first part where the wizard takes over and then they send these 4 scrolls, but you don't really know where those 4 scrolls are going until you let the music roll one more time, and then you end up getting this scene where, let's see, Samson, who is our main character, and then he's kind of like a stereotypical anime character, but I don't really know too much about him. And then of course you get your other buddies, you get Dragon, you get who can also fly, and then you get the Golem who shows up pretty soon. Yeah, see, the Golem can do some pretty special things. He can punch in multiple directions, and then he can also handle spikes without getting killed. Which is actually going to be really important in this game, because in this game, this is one of those games where you do have to work together with a lot of different creatures in order to make it through all the stuff. And that is one thing I really do like about this game, is how creative they were in designing the levels and how creative they were in just doing everything. But let's just go ahead and get this started. And then you get the option of choosing either one, so we're just going to go in order. So I'll just let Samson handle this one. And then Samson has a pretty easy or simple skill set. You just duck, and then you can also climb walls, which is one thing that's going to make this game pretty unique, and it's actually a lot of fun to play too, because even though this game is largely unknown, at least until Game Grumps played it, but this is also a really fun game, and I also really like the level design as well as the music in this game. But yeah, what we're doing now is we're just trying to make our way over to the castle. And we just had to do that with the different characters. And then you also get your and these intro stages do a pretty good job of getting you used to the certain characters that you're going to be playing as. So that's one thing I do like about this particular intro stage, is that they just do a really good job with everything. And also these power-ups you can get to increase your health bar. And we're going to be seeing a lot of those, because in this game there are going to be passwords, but every time you use a password you start off with the minimum. So I mean, that's unfortunate, but that's just part of the game. And I think every time you get a game over you also lose all your power-ups, but I forget that though. I mean, not that this game is really all that easy, but I mean, it starts out easy and then it just gets a lot harder. So let's just go ahead and make our way across here. And then really, Samson's attack is just, I don't really know if those are rocks or bells, but I mean, that's just something we're gonna use. But either way, for the most part, Samson's gonna be doing most of the platforming. And then also, there's a lot of wall climbing. And what I just picked up was a potion, and this is pretty much your energy tank for this game. So let's just make our way over to the castle. And we get to meet our toy soldier knight. So now that Samson's there, let's just get Dragon over there now. And Dragon has a shot that arcs upwards. So that is something to know when you're trying to just get through all the stuff. And also the biggest change is Dragon can also fly. Yeah, so you just glide across the screen, just like so. And what I do like about Dragon's skill set is that, let's see, you can also, and then of course he has his usual duck and those kind of things. Yeah, see, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to charge up Dragon's shot, because that is something that we can do too with Dragon. But for the most part, we're gonna use him just to Let's see, just fly across stuff, and mostly for platforming. Dragon's not going to be the one handling bosses in this game. That's really going to be more or less up to Samson and Golem. But I mean, we'll get to be seeing Golem pretty soon. And then we can just charge up our attack just like so. Which is actually going to be pretty useful for just clearing out large waves of enemies. Also, there is a music change for every character you have. So I mean, that is something that's pretty unique about this game too. And now that Dragon's home, let's just get Golem over there. And then, like I said before, Golem can punch in multiple directions. So he's got that going for him. And really, for the most part, he's just going to be the power character. And I just got myself an extra life, so that's always good. And really, Golem's not going to be used much except for when there are just a bunch of enemies that need to be cleared out. And also, against bosses, I'm probably going to be saving Golem for the second form. And this is the one big advantage that Golem has, is that he can go across spikes without getting hurt. And we are going to need to do that several times as this game goes on. Which is one thing I do love about this game's level design, is that they do have to, or they do make you think about how you're trying to get past everything, and they also do a good job with replay value because you can just use different characters to make it across different problems. I also love this theme for Golem. But I mean, since this is a Taito game, they definitely know what they're doing in the music department. Which is something I said before with a surprise at Dinosaur Peak. And now that Golem is back, we just got one more character to get across, and that's going to be Mouse. And obviously Mouse is the small one, but you can also do this thing where you just drop bombs. And that is actually going to be a pretty unique attack for Mouse. Except the problem is I might end up dying here because Mouse has a really small health bar, so I think it's probably better I just run away from everything at this point. Alright, let's just blow this guy up. And also, Mouse is going to be handling a lot of the platforming and also just a lot of the climbing past stuff because, I mean, that's just kind of the way this game is set up. Okay, good. At least I got some health refill. I could not get that. Okay, let's just go ahead and run here before I get myself killed here. And the tricky part about this game is that once you get a character killed besides Samson, you can't use him again. Which is something that's gonna cause me a bunch of problems down the road if I end up getting that happening, or if I end up having that happen to me. Okay, I'm just kind of paranoid about squeezing past this thing. And we are gonna need Mouse to squeeze past some obstacles. So that's where we're gonna end up using Mouse, but we're not gonna use him too much throughout the stage because he does have that really small health bar, and that is one character you definitely don't want to lose. And now we've got our first boss, and that's going to be a short little sparring session with Dragon. Because I guess he doesn't respect me as a leader, so I gotta put him in his place. And the thing with Dragon is that he attacks whenever you do. So that is something that you do have to know in order to just handle him. And for the most part, I'm going to be using Turbo. Well, just because I can. And then this is the charge-up attack that I mentioned earlier with Dragon. And fortunately, his regular attacks don't do too much damage, so I mean, that's not going to be that big a problem. So just wait for him here. And then we're almost done with him. Yeah, so this boss isn't really too tough, just as long as you know not to attack him when he's up close. And that's what you get for questioning my leadership. So with that said, we get our first password. And I think I can get one stage out of the way before I call the video, so I'm just gonna go ahead and try and do that. And see, for this first part, I'm gonna be playing mostly with Samson, just because I want to get him powered up, and then also I think this what I'm gonna try and do for this first stage is just try and get people as powered up as I can. And of course, statues shooting at me, that's never any fun. I mean, it's one thing when you have to just make it past the stuff, and then you got statues, and tricky part about this is that it's kind of hard to tell like where the statues are shooting from. Although that's a pretty odd enemy with the thing that like shoots and then it just gets a lot smaller. Kinda strange, but it works. Alright, see, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this. Yeah, see, this is the one thing I do like about this game's design, is that they do a really good job, just making you use thinking, or just think in different ways as to how you're gonna get past all this stuff, which is actually really fun. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to collect the power-ups with different characters, and that is one thing we're definitely gonna need to do because I want to get these guys up to full power as fast as I can. Alright, let's just go ahead and handle it this way. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna let Dragon handle this part. Just because the platforming can be kinda tricky at times. And that's the way this game goes. And then charge up and you're out of here. Okay, got myself another life, that's always good. And I think Golem's the only one that can actually go across that and get it. So I mean, that's just something we're gonna have to deal with as this game goes on. Is that unfortunately there are gonna be a lot of power-ups that only one character can get. So I mean, that's just something you do have to think about and something you do have to take into account while you're playing this. And I'm just letting Dragon do most of the work here. Let's see, I'm wondering if I should let Dragon take this or if I should let Golem have it. Because Golem is actually going to have the biggest health bar as this game goes on. And then we can also let Mouse in on the action. And I know these characters have different names, I just forgot what they were. Yeah, let's just get this for Dragon. And yeah, each character can have one potion, so that's just the way this game works. So now to fight our first boss, and this boss really isn't too tough, and they start off pretty easy, and each boss does have two forms, so that's just something that we do have to know. And this first form is fairly easy, all he's doing is just shooting at you. And we do fight this boss every time out, so it is going to take on different forms, and we just have to find a way to just beat all of them. Or just beat them every time. Alright, so now we got our first encounter with a second form. And see, really what I gotta do is just avoid fireballs. And then I'm actually gonna try and avoid this thing instead of shooting it, because you can shoot it, but it will turn into this other thing that like homes in on you. Okay, I might die here. And then unfortunately Golem can't duck, so that's just something we gotta worry about. Okay, well either way this charge attack with Dragon seems to be working. And then we can just do that. And that is the end of the first boss. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and call the video here, so join me next time as we take on some more challenges in this game. I'll see you then.